First contact. The gleaming spires of New Geneva stretched towards the sky, their crystalline surfaces reflecting the warm glow of the setting sun. At the heart of the city, the Global Unity Tower stood as a testament to humanity's progress, a single governing body representing Earth in galactic affairs. It was here, in the expansive atrium of the tower, that history was about to be made. Dr. Elara Chen stood at rigid attention, her crisp blue uniform a stark contrast to the sea of expectant faces around her. As Earth's leading xenobiologist, she had been chosen to be part of the welcoming committee for humanity's first official alien delegation. Her heart raced with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. Years of studying extraterrestrial life forms had not prepared her for the reality of face-to-face contact. A hush fell over the crowd as the massive doors at the far end of the atrium began to slide open. Elara held her breath, her eyes fixed on the widening gap. The first figure to emerge was decidedly human, Ambassador Javier Reyes, Earth's chief diplomat. But it was the beings that followed him that caused a collective gasp to ripple through the assembly. They were humanoid in general shape, but that's where the similarities ended. Their skin shimmered with an iridescent quality, shifting colors like oil on water. Instead of hair, delicate tendrils undulated gently around their heads, seeming to move of their own accord. But it was their eyes that truly captivated Elara, large, multifaceted orbs that reflected the light in mesmerizing patterns. As the delegation approached, Elara's scientific mind kicked into overdrive, cataloging every detail. The aliens moved with a fluid grace that seemed almost impossible given the constraints of bipedal locomotion. Their breathing appeared to be through small gill-like structures on their necks rather than a nose or mouth. Ambassador Reyes stepped forward, his voice ringing out clear and strong. "People of Earth, I present to you the esteemed representatives of the Zarquin Confederation. They have traveled across the stars to extend the hand of friendship and cooperation." The lead alien stepped forward, and to Elara's surprise, spoke in perfect, unaccented English. "Greetings, people of Earth. I am Engsiara, chief emissary of the Zarquin. We come in peace and with great curiosity about your world and your species." Elara couldn't help but marvel at the complexity of vocal structures that must be required to produce human speech so flawlessly. She made a mental note to review the preliminary biological data they had been provided. As the formal introductions continued, Elara found her gaze drawn repeatedly to one particular member of the alien delegation. This Zarquin seemed younger than the others, its colors shifting more rapidly, almost as if it were nervous. Its multifaceted eyes darted around the room, taking in every detail with obvious fascination. Suddenly, those alien eyes locked onto Elara's. For a moment, the world seemed to fall away. Elara felt as if she were falling into those shimmering depths, seeing flashes of alien worlds and incomprehensible vistas. Then, just as quickly, the connection broke as the young Zarquin quickly averted its gaze. Elara shook her head, trying to clear the lingering disorientation. Had that really happened, or was her imagination running wild? She forced herself to focus on Ambassador Reyes, who was now outlining the schedule for the coming weeks of diplomatic talks and cultural exchanges. "And now," Reyes concluded, "I'd like to introduce Dr. Elara Chen, our foremost expert in xenobiology. She will be working closely with the Zarquin delegation to facilitate our mutual understanding and ensure the comfort of our honored guests during their stay." Elara stepped forward, willing her voice to remain steady as she addressed the assembly. "On behalf of Earth's scientific community, I extend our warmest welcome to the Zarquin delegation. We are eager to learn from you and to share our knowledge in return. My team and I are at your disposal for any needs or questions you may have during your time here." As she spoke, Elara once again found her gaze drawn to the young Zarquin. This time, she was certain she wasn't imagining things. The alien was staring at her with an intensity that sent a shiver down her spine. Its colors were shifting rapidly, creating mesmerizing patterns across its iridescent skin. Engsiara, the chief emissary, gestured towards the young Zarquin. This is Zorak, our most promising junior diplomat. It will be working closely with your team, Dr. Chen, to document and analyze the biological and cultural differences between our species. Ilara nodded, trying to maintain her professional composure despite the strange connection she felt. We look forward to collaborating with Zorak and learning from each other. As the formal ceremonies concluded and the crowd began to disperse, Ilara found herself approached by Zorak. Up close, the alien was even more captivating. Its tendrils seemed to reach out towards her, almost as if they were trying to make physical contact. Dr. Chen, Zorak said, its voice a melodious trill that sent shivers down Ilara's spine. I am most eager to begin our work together. Your species fascinates me in ways I cannot fully articulate. Ilara smiled, her scientific curiosity overriding any lingering unease. The feeling is mutual, Zorak. There's so much we can learn from each other. Shall we start with a tour of our research facilities? As they walked side by side towards the exit, Ilara couldn't shake the feeling that she was on the precipice of something monumental. The secrets of the universe seemed to be within reach, waiting to be uncovered through this unprecedented collaboration. Little did she know that the true adventure was just beginning, and that the consequences of this meeting would reshape not only her life, but the future of both their species in ways no one could have predicted. The following days were a whirlwind of activity as Earth's scientists and diplomats worked tirelessly to accommodate their alien guests. Ilara found herself at the center of it all, coordinating research efforts and facilitating communication between the two species. Working closely with Zorak proved to be both exhilarating and challenging. The young Zarquin's insatiable curiosity matched Ilara's own, leading to long discussions that often stretched late into the night. They compared notes on everything from cellular structure to philosophical concepts of consciousness. Your species' ability to adapt is truly remarkable, Zorak commented one evening as they reviewed data in Ilara's lab. The variety of environments you've colonized on your own world speaks to a resilience we find fascinating. Ilara nodded, a hint of pride in her voice. Humanity has certainly faced its share of challenges, but it's our diversity that gives us strength. Each culture, each individual, brings something unique to the table. Zorak's tendrils rippled in what Ilara had come to recognize as a sign of deep thought. Diversity. Yes, this is a concept we struggle with. The Zarquin value unity above all else. To see a species thrive through differences rather than similarities is intriguing. As they continued to work, Ilara couldn't help but notice the way Zorak's colors seemed to shift more rapidly whenever their hands accidentally brushed while reaching for the same data pad. Was it possible that the Zarquin was experiencing some sort of physiological response to their proximity? Before she could ponder this further, an alarm blared through the facility. Red lights flashed as a computerized voice announced, "Biohazard alert in Sector 7. All personnel evacuate immediately." Ilara's heart raced as she quickly assessed the situation. Sector 7 was where they kept the most sensitive xenobiological samples. If there had been a containment breach. "Zorak, we need to get out of here now," she said urgently, grabbing the alien's arm without thinking. The moment her skin made contact with Zorak's iridescent surface, a jolt of electricity seemed to pass between them. For a split second, Ilara could have sworn she saw flashes of alien memories, vast starfields, strange geometric cities, and a sense of loneliness so profound it took her breath away. The moment passed as quickly as it had come. Ilara shook her head, trying to clear the disorientation. There would be time to analyze what had just happened later. Right now, their safety was the priority. As they rushed towards the exit, joining the stream of evacuating scientists and staff, Ilara's mind raced. What could have caused the biohazard alert? Had one of the alien samples they were studying mutated or escaped containment? The possibilities were as thrilling as they were terrifying. Little did Ilara know that this incident would set in motion a chain of events that would challenge everything she thought she knew about herself, her species, and the nature of the universe itself. The true test of humanity's resilience and ingenuity was about to begin, with Ilara and Zorak at the very center of a cosmic storm that would reshape the future of both their worlds. The quantum pheromone incident. The klaxons blared as Ilara and Zorak raced through the sterile corridors of the Global Unity Tower's research wing. Scientists and staff evacuated in orderly chaos, their faces masks of concern and excitement. This was no drill. Something unprecedented had occurred in the heart of Earth's most advanced xenobiology lab. Dr. Chen, a breathless assistant, intercepted them, his eyes wide with panic. "It's the quantum pheromone synthesizer. It's gone haywire." Ilara's heart skipped a beat. The quantum pheromone synthesizer was her brainchild, a device designed to replicate and enhance the subtle chemical signals used in both human and alien communication. It was supposed to be the key to unlocking deeper understanding between species. Now it seemed it had become a potential catastrophe. "Zorak, you should evacuate with the others," Ilara said, already turning towards the quarantine zone. The young Zarquin's tendrils writhed with determination. "No, Dr. Chen. We started this project together. We will face its consequences together." There was no time to argue. Together, they rushed towards Sector 7, donning protective suits as they went. The air shimmered with an opalescent mist, the visible manifestation of quantum pheromones run amok. As they entered the main lab, the scene that greeted them was both beautiful and terrifying. Swirling vortexes of color danced through the air, each one a concentrated burst of emotional and physiological signals. The quantum pheromone synthesizer sat at the center, its panels blown open, spewing forth an uncontrolled stream of hyper-enhanced chemical compounds. "We need to shut it down," Ilara shouted over the din of alarms and the strange, almost musical humming emanating from the synthesizer. They approached cautiously, acutely aware that one wrong move could expose them to a cocktail of mind-altering substances. Ilara's fingers flew over the control panel, trying to initiate the emergency shutdown sequence. "It's not responding," she cried, frustration edging her voice. "The quantum fluctuations have overridden the safeguards." Zorak's multifaceted eyes scanned the room, taking in the chaos with alien calm. Perhaps we are approaching this incorrectly. Your machine taps into the fundamental forces of emotion and communication. Logic alone may not be enough to tame it." Ilara turned to the Zarquin, a spark of understanding igniting in her mind. "You're right. We need to communicate with it on its own terms." In a move that would later be hailed as either brilliant or insane, Ilara began to remove her protective gear. "Dr. Chen, what are you doing?" Zorak's normally melodious voice cracked with alarm. "Trust me," Ilara said, her eyes shining with determination. "And whatever happens, don't let me lose myself." Before Zorak could protest further, Ilara stepped into the swirling maelstrom of quantum pheromones. The effect was instantaneous and overwhelming. Every nerve in her body seemed to light up at once. Emotions she had no names for crashed over her in waves. She saw colors that shouldn't exist and heard the silent song of atoms dancing. Through the haze of sensation, Ilara forced herself to focus on the synthesizer. She reached out, not with her hands, but with her mind, feeling for the patterns in the chaos. The machine had tapped into something primal, something that existed in the space between thought and emotion. Zorak watched in awe as Ilara's body began to glow with the same opalescent light as the pheromone mist. Her hair floated around her head, mimicking the Zarquin's tendrils. For a moment, she seemed to exist in two places at once, here in the lab and somewhere far beyond. Then, with a sound like 1,000 crystal glasses shattering in reverse, the quantum pheromone synthesizer quieted. The swirling vortexes of color collapsed in on themselves, drawn back into the machine as if by some unseen force. Ilara stood at the center of it all, her eyes glowing with an inner light. She turned to Zorak, a smile of triumph on her face. "We did it," she whispered. And then she collapsed. Zorak moved with impossible speed, catching Ilara before she hit the ground. The Zaraquin cradled her gently, its own body beginning to pulse with strange new sensations. In the aftermath of the quantum pheromone incident, as it came to be known, both human and Zaraquin scientists worked tirelessly to understand what had occurred. Ilara's unprecedented interaction with the synthesizer had opened up new avenues of research into the nature of consciousness itself. But as Ilara recovered in the medical bay, attended to by a worried Zorak, neither of them realized that the incident had changed them both on a fundamental level. The barriers between their species had been blurred in ways that would soon become apparent and potentially dangerous. As news of the incident spread, it captured the imagination of both humans and aliens alike. Speculation ran wild about the potential applications of quantum pheromone technology. Could it be the key to universal translation, a path to heightened consciousness, or perhaps something far more perilous? One thing was certain: the relationship between humanity and the Zaraquin would never be the same. And at the heart of it all were Ilara and Zorak, two beings from different worlds, now linked in ways that defied explanation. As Ilara's eyes fluttered open, meeting Zorak's concerned gaze, she felt a surge of emotion that was both familiar and alien. "What happened?" she murmured. Zorak's tendrils reached out, almost of their own accord, to brush a strand of hair from Ilara's forehead. "You've changed everything," the Zaraquin said softly. "And I fear we've only begun to understand the consequences." Outside the medical bay, the world waited with bated breath for what would come next. The age of quantum pheromones had begun, and with it, a new chapter in the story of two species reaching for the stars, and perhaps for each other. The cosmic resonance awakening. The days following the quantum pheromone incident were a blur of medical tests, debriefings, and barely contained global excitement. Ilara found herself at the center of a media storm, hailed as both hero and harbinger. The term quantum empath began circulating on social media platforms, spreading faster than any virus. As Ilara sat in her private quarters, watching holographic news reports flicker across her wall, she couldn't shake the feeling that something fundamental had shifted within her. It wasn't just the lingering sensations from her encounter with the synthesizer. It was as if a dormant part of her consciousness had been awakened. A gentle chime announced a visitor. The door slid open to reveal Zorak, the young Zaraquin's iridescent skin pulsing with an array of colors Ilara had never seen before. "Dr. Chen," Zorak began, then hesitated. "Ilara, I am experiencing unfamiliar sensations. I believe we need to discuss what transpired in the lab." Ilara nodded, a mixture of anticipation and trepidation coursing through her. "I feel it too, Zorak. Come in. I think it's time we face this together." As Zorak entered, the air between them seemed to crackle with unseen energy. Ilara gasped as a wave of alien emotions washed over her: curiosity, fear, and something else, something she couldn't quite name. "You can sense my emotional state," Zorak observed, multifaceted eyes widening. "This is unprecedented. The quantum pheromones must have altered our neurological structures on a fundamental level." Ilara stepped closer, drawn by an instinct she didn't fully understand. "It's more than that, Zorak. I can see patterns, connections. It's like the universe itself is trying to communicate." As if in response to her words, the room around them began to shimmer. Reality itself seemed to ripple, revealing glimpses of other places, other times. Ilara and Zorak found themselves standing on the edge of a cosmic tapestry, where the boundaries between species, space, and time blurred into insignificance. "The cosmic resonance," Zorak whispered, all evident in its melodious voice. "An ancient Zaraquin legend speaks of beings who could tap into the fundamental frequency of the universe. We always believed it to be a myth." Ilara's mind raced with the implications. But it's real. And somehow, the quantum pheromones have tuned us into this frequency. "Zorak, do you realize what this means? We've stumbled upon a form of communication that transcends all barriers." Their excitement was cut short by a sudden searing pain. Both Ilara and Zorak cried out, clutching their heads as a cascade of images and sensations overwhelmed them. They saw vast armadas of starships, worlds consumed by cosmic fire, and shadowy entities that defied comprehension. As quickly as it began, the vision faded, leaving them breathless and shaken. What was that? Ilara gasped, her heart pounding. Zorak's tendrils writhed in agitation. A warning, perhaps, or a glimpse of possible futures. The cosmic resonance is not a toy, Ilara. We've tapped into something far more powerful and dangerous than we could have imagined. Before they could discuss further, an urgent message flashed across Ilara's holo display. Her eyes widened as she read it. We're being summoned to an emergency meeting of the Global Unity Council. It seems we're not the only ones experiencing strange phenomena. As they hurried through the corridors of the tower, reports flooded in from around the world. People were reporting spontaneous telepathic connections, visions of alien worlds, and in some cases, manifestations of impossible abilities. The quantum pheromone incident had triggered a cascade effect, awakening latent potential in both humans and Zarquin across the globe. The council chamber was a scene of barely controlled chaos. Human and Zarquin representatives argued heatedly, their words overlapping in a cacophony of concern and excitement. At the center of it all stood Ambassador Reyes, his usually composed demeanor showing cracks of stress. "Dr. Chen Zorak," he called as they entered. "Perhaps you can shed some light on this situation. We're receiving reports of widespread genetic mutations, spontaneous psychic phenomena, and in some cases, full-blown reality manipulation. The public is panicking, and the Zarquin Confederation is demanding answers." Ilara stepped forward, acutely aware of the weight of the moment. "Ambassador, esteemed council members, what we're experiencing is nothing short of an evolutionary leap. The quantum pheromones have acted as a catalyst, awakening abilities that have lain dormant in both our species for millennia." Zorak joined her, its voice resonating with newfound authority. "We call it the cosmic resonance. It's a direct link to the fundamental forces that shape our universe. But it's not just a gift, it's a responsibility, and possibly a warning." A murmur rippled through the assembly. Ambassador Reyes leaned forward, his eyes intense. "A warning of what?" Ilara and Zorak exchanged a glance, sharing a moment of silent communication that didn't go unnoticed by the observant council members. "We're not sure," Ilara admitted, "but we've seen visions, glimpses of possible futures. Some of them are devastating. We believe that our species have been given these abilities for a reason. There's something coming, something that will require us to stand united." The chamber erupted into discussion, theories and arguments flying back and forth. But Ilara and Zorak stood silent, their minds reaching out beyond the confines of the room, beyond the planet, into the vast expanse of space. There, in the cosmic void, they sensed it, a stirring, a gathering storm of unimaginable proportions. Whatever was coming, it would test the limits of both their species and the newfound power they now wielded. As the council debated and the world outside grappled with its rapidly changing reality, Ilara and Zorak shared a moment of quiet understanding. They were standing at the threshold of a new era, one that would redefine the very nature of existence. The cosmic resonance awakening had begun, and with it, the true test of humanity's place in the universe was about to unfold: the quantum nexus convergence. As dawn broke over New Geneva, the sky erupted in a dazzling display of aurora borealis, despite the city's equatorial location. Citizens stopped in their tracks, gazing in awe at the swirling ribbons of light that danced across the heavens. But this was no ordinary light show. Embedded within the aurora were complex mathematical equations and alien glyphs, as if the universe itself was trying to communicate. Ilara and Zorak stood atop the Global Unity Tower, their bodies resonating with the cosmic energy that now permeated the planet. In the days since the Emergency Council meeting, the world had changed dramatically. The term quantum nexus had gone viral. describing the network of psychic connections linking humans and Zarquin alike. "It's beautiful," Ilara breathed, her eyes reflecting the kaleidoscope of colors above. "But terrifying too. We've opened Pandora's box, Zorak." The young Zarquin's tendrils undulated in agreement. "Indeed, the quantum nexus is reshaping reality faster than we can comprehend. But we must focus on the threat that looms beyond our world." As if on cue, their shared consciousness expanded, catapulting their awareness into the depths of space. There, at the edge of the solar system, they sensed it again, a vast, dark presence that defied description. The cosmic devourer, as they had come to call it, was approaching, drawn by the surge of quantum energy emanating from Earth. Back on the tower's observation deck, alarms began to blare. Holographic displays flickered to life, showing a barrage of incoming transmissions from around the globe and beyond. "Dr. Chen, Zorak," Ambassador Reyes's voice crackled through the comm system. "We're detecting massive gravitational anomalies throughout the solar system. It's as if reality itself is being warped." Ilara's mind raced, processing information from both the digital readouts and the quantum nexus. "It's not just our reality, Ambassador. The cosmic devourer is consuming entire timelines, alternate universes. It's a multidimensional entity of unimaginable power." Zorak's normally melodious voice took on a tone of urgency. "We must act now. The quantum nexus is our only hope of survival." As if in response to their realization, a brilliant beam of light shot up from the tower, connecting with the auroras above. Similar beams appeared around the globe, from the pyramids of Giza to the ancient stone circles of England, from the crystal cities of the Zarquin homeworld to long-forgotten ruins deep in Earth's oceans. The planet itself was awakening, tapping into ley lines of power that had laid dormant for eons. "By the cosmic core," Zorak whispered, "the ancients knew. They prepared for this moment." Ilara nodded, understanding flooding through her. "The quantum nexus isn't just connecting us to each other. It's linking us to every version of Earth and Zarquin across the multiverse. We're creating a firewall of consciousness." As the beams of light intensified, Ilara and Zorak felt their minds expand beyond anything they had experienced before. They were no longer just two individuals. They were a confluence of every Ilara and Zorak that had ever existed or could exist. Through the quantum nexus, they coordinated a defense unlike anything the universe had ever seen. Humans and Zarquin across countless realities joined hands, minds melding, their collective will hardening into an impenetrable shield against the encroaching darkness. The cosmic devourer struck with the force of 1,000,000,000,000 supernovas, reality buckling under its assault. For a moment that stretched into eternity, it seemed as though all would be lost. But the quantum nexus held firm, powered by the indomitable spirit of two species united against extinction. In a blast of light that outshone galaxies, the cosmic devourer was repelled, cast back into the void between universes. As the glow faded, Ilara and Zorak found themselves once again atop the global Unity Tower, forever changed by what they had experienced. The holographic displays showed scenes of celebration from around the world and across the stars. Humanity and the Zarquin had faced their greatest challenge and emerged victorious, forever bonded by the crucible of cosmic conflict. But even as joy swept across the planet, Ilara and Zorak shared a knowing look. The quantum nexus had given them a glimpse of something greater, a cosmic ecosystem of unimaginable complexity and wonder. Their adventure, it seemed, was only just beginning. "What now?" Ilara asked, her voice filled with equal parts excitement and trepidation. Zorak's tendrils reached out, intertwining with Ilara's fingers in a gesture that bridged their two species. "Now, my dear Ilara, we truly reach for the stars. The quantum nexus has shown us that we are all connected, not just humans and Zarquin, but all sentient life across the multiverse. It's time we embraced our cosmic heritage." As if in response to Zorak's words, the aurora above pulsed with renewed vigor, forming intricate patterns that spoke of new discoveries waiting to be made. The equation of existence had changed, and humanity, along with their Zarquin allies, were about to embark on the greatest journey of exploration the universe had ever known. The quantum nexus convergence had ushered in a new age of cosmic enlightenment, with Ilara and Zorax standing at the forefront of this brave new reality. As they gazed out at the transformed world before them, both knew that the true adventure was just beginning. The multiversal odyssey begins. The global unity tower, once a symbol of Earth's terrestrial aspirations, now stood as a beacon of cosmic significance. Its spire, augmented by Zarquin technology and human ingenuity, pulsed with quantum energy visible from orbit. At its pinnacle, a new chamber had been constructed, the Nexus Hub, where the boundaries between realities blurred and the impossible became routine. Ilara Chen, no longer just its xenobiologist, but Earth's premier quantum architect, stood before a shimmering holomap of the multiverse. Her eyes, now flecked with iridescent particles that danced like miniature galaxies, scanned the intricate web of interconnected realities. "Zorak, are you seeing this?" she called out, her voice carrying an otherworldly resonance that had become the norm for those deeply attuned to the quantum nexus. The Zoraquin materialized beside her, its form shifting between solid matter and pure energy. Indeed, Ilara, the multiversal ley lines are aligning. The cosmic harmonic is reaching its crescendo. Their discoveries over the past months had revolutionized science, philosophy, and the very nature of existence itself. The term multiversal synchronicity had become a global buzzword, encompassing the newfound ability of humans and Zarquin to tap into the knowledge and experiences of their alternate selves across infinite realities. "It's time," Ilara breathed, excitement coursing through her quantum-enhanced body. "The multiversal odyssey can finally begin." As if responding to her words, the Nexus Hub hummed to life. Streams of data from a million Earths flooded the chamber, each reality offering its unique advancements and discoveries. In one universe, humanity had mastered Dyson sphere technology. In another, the Zarquin had unlocked the secrets of temporal manipulation. But it was the dark spaces between these bright spots of innovation that drew Ilara's attention. "There," she pointed, her finger leaving trails of quantum particles in its wake. "The void sectors. Realities where neither humanity nor the Zarquin exist. What happened in those universes?" Zorak's tendrils twisted in a pattern Ilara had come to recognize as deep concern. Perhaps those are the realities where the cosmic devourer succeeded, or worse, where life never evolved at all. A chilling thought, but one that steeled their resolve. The multiversal odyssey wasn't just about exploration. It was a mission to seed life, knowledge, and the protective power of the quantum nexus across every possible reality. As they prepared for their journey, a commotion outside the Nexus Hub caught their attention. They emerged onto the observation deck to find crowds gathered, pointing excitedly at the sky. There, visible to every enhanced eye on the planet, a cosmic phenomenon was unfolding. The very fabric of space-time was folding, creating a luminous pathway that stretched beyond the limits of their solar system. "The Einstein-Rosen-Zarquin Bridge," Ilara gasped. "It's no longer theoretical. We've done it." Zorak's form pulsed with vibrant colors. "Not just us, Ilara. Every version of us across every compatible reality, working in perfect multiversal synchronicity. We've woven a quantum tapestry that connects all of existence." As news of the cosmic bridge spread, a wave of excitement swept across the globe. The term Star Bridge trended globally within minutes, capturing the imagination of billions. From the Nexus Hub, Ilara and Zorak watched as the first joint human-Zarquin expedition prepared to embark. A fleet of ships, each a marvel of cross-reality engineering, stood ready to traverse the Star Bridge. "This is humanity's next great leap," Ambassador Reyes announced in a global broadcast. "No longer are we bound by the limitations of our single universe. Today, we become citizens of the multiverse." As cheers erupted around the world, Ilara felt a familiar sensation, the call of the unknown, the thrill of discovery that had led her to xenobiology in the first place. But now that call resonated on a cosmic scale. "Shall we?" Zorak asked, extending a tendril towards her. Ilara took it without hesitation, their forms beginning to merge in a dazzling display of quantum entanglement. "Let's show the multiverse what humanity and Zarquin can accomplish together." In a flash of light that rippled across realities, they vanished from the Nexus hub, reappearing instantaneously at the helm of the flagship Quantum Voyager. As the fleet engaged its reality-warping drives, preparing to enter the Starbridge, Ilara and Zorak shared a moment of profound connection. Through the quantum nexus, they felt the hopes and dreams of trillions of beings across countless versions of Earth and Zarquin Prime. "Attention all realities," Ilara's voice rang out, carried by quantum waves to every corner of the multiverse. "This is the beginning of a new era of cosmic cooperation. Together, we will face the challenges that lie ahead, explore the mysteries of existence, and ensure that life, in all its beautiful diversity, thrives across every possible universe." With a surge of energy that sent ripples through the quantum foam of reality itself, the Quantum Voyager led the fleet into the shimmering depths of the Starbridge. The multiversal odyssey had begun, promising adventures beyond imagination and discoveries that would reshape the very foundations of existence. As they ventured into the unknown, Ilara and Zorak stood united, symbols of the incredible potential that lay in the union of different species, different realities, and different dreams. The future of the multiverse was unwritten, but with the power of the quantum nexus and the indomitable spirit of their united peoples, they were ready to face whatever wonders and challenges awaited them in the vast, infinite tapestry of existence.